What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Brawl Project. My name's Sunnyvale. Today we're going to be taking a look at an Ashiok Nightmare Muse Brawl deck. This is a blue-black deck focused on the 5-mana Dimir Commander. Starts with 5 loyalty. Ashiok has a +1 of create a 2/3 blue and black Nightmare creature token with whenever this creature attacks or blocks, each opponent exiles the top 2 cards of their library. -3 of return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, then that player exiles a card from their hand, and a -7 that says you may cast up to 3 face-up cards your opponents own from exile without paying their mana cost. I think that this is a pretty powerful planeswalker, or at least a pretty useful planeswalker in a vacuum. It has a way of protecting itself in its -3 ability. It has a way of building a board presence in its +1, and then its -7 it does a pretty good job of winning game a lot of the time, especially in Brawl when people are going big. A lot of the times, even if you just cast 2 spells, it's going to be enough to take over the game. You can imagine hitting an Agent of Treachery plus, I don't know, some sort of removal spell or some way to draw cards. It's just very powerful. So I think that Ashiok lends itself well to some sort of control deck. You want to be able to protect Ashiok, or you can go and try to mill your opponent, and that's kind of what we're doing. We're kind of doing both of those things with this deck. So we have a lot of cards for the control plan. We've got some discard like Duress, Thought Erasure, Agonizing Remorse. We've got a lot of counter magic, Disdainful Stroke, Quench, Tail's End, Didn't Say Please, Thought Collapse, Sinister Sabotage. We are playing the bad guys, trying to prevent other people from having fun today. And then, of course, a lot of removal that rounds out your, 3-pronged attack when you're playing a control deck. We have Ritual of Soot as our lone sweeper, unfortunately, but we also have good targeted removal in Price of Fame, Eat to Extinction, Drag to the World. And in Brawl, I really like Unsummon. I know that this isn't a card that you'd probably play in quote, real control decks in Standard, but I really like it in Brawl where tempo is at such a huge premium. Brazen Borrower, Murderous Rider, got your removal. And if I wanted to play just straight up control, maybe I'd play something like Nicol Bolas, but I want to have a milling element to this. I want the way to win to be my opponent running out of cards. So we have a few elements for that, including Jace, Thief of Sanity, Drowned Secrets, and Ashiok, the other Ashiok, Dreamrender, which does a good job of... These two work really well together. Ashiok exiles a lot of cards so that if you ever get to Ultimate with Ashiok 5, you get to play a lot of cards with it. Anyway, yeah, so we've got the 3-pronged attack of control decks in discard, counter magic, and removal. I guess the 3rd prong would a lot of the time be drawing cards, but I don't know. Somehow in Brawl, I don't like cards that just sit around and draw cards. Anyway, Ashiok does a good job of just providing card advantage passively. And then we've got the mill package, and that's really all there is to it. I mean, it's just a control deck, but I'm looking forward to opponents drawing from an empty deck and losing because of that as we play this deck. As far as the lands go, nothing too exciting. I think Labyrinth of Skophos is best in this deck because it does a good job of protecting you or protecting Ashiok, and a lot of the time I just throw this in decks, just being like, I think this is kind of a free roll, let's include it. But I think here it's actually good because you do need to be able to protect yourself. I've also got Mobilized District. This deck is going to have a lot of trouble with opposing planeswalkers, so having a land that can attack planeswalkers I think is pretty useful. And then Field of Ruin, it's pretty good at dealing with opposing castles. We're playing both the castles and a Mystic Sanctuary here. Though honestly, I'm not sure about this Mystic Sanctuary. I feel like the opportunity cost is pretty low, and then there are going to be cases where it's pretty good. Pretty low on the curve. We're not playing some of the more powerful effects like Agent of Treachery or Mass Manipulation, rather packing our deck fuller of counterspells and ways of milling our opponent. That might come back to bite us, but I don't want to steal like a big Hydroid Krasis and attack with it for the win. I want to mill my opponent out. So let's go ahead and do that with this deck. And yeah, if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. I am making a Brawl video every day this week. We're on day 3 of 7, so if you're just tuning in, today is the 27th of March. You're just tuning in now, expect to see a bunch of more Brawl content coming your way. And follow me on Twitter, because that's where you can stay up to date with all of the various projects that I do. Twitter.com/SunnyVale. Okay, without any further ado, let's get into the games. Here we go. Alright, here we are against Niv Mizzet Reborn. This is going to be tough. We have to counter Niv Mizzet, basically, in this matchup. I'm going to keep this hand. The Drag to the Underworld is pretty bad, but the Narset and the Whirlwind Denial are both pretty good. So yeah, this is just going to be all about keeping the opposing Niv Mizzet off the board as much as possible. And Colorless Land, not that insane, although it does deal with Planeswalkers. Maybe I should have kept that on top. I don't know, it's like super slow. Alright, like... Sure, Milieu. Maybe, you know what, if they play like Paradise Druid here, I'm going to have wanted to play that as a 0-4, but I mean, we are planning on killing them by milling them. Okay. Well, I think they have Growth Spiral here. It could be Counter Magic, but these decks tend to like playing Growth Spiral on turn 3, as they did there. Yeah, they're going to have to play it before the Narset, of course, otherwise they wouldn't be able to draw a card. And hopefully we can find some more counter magic. So we have 2 counters for Niv Mizzet, and now 3 counters. It's going to be easy for them to play around the Quench now that they know it's coming. But that's definitely where I want to be. I actually do need a land. I should put a land to the bottom. Okay, that's fine. We got a card out of that. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Definitely want to hit that land. I think it's pretty unlikely that my opponent just jams Niv Mizzet here. They're probably going to do something else that we have to quench. We can't let them resolve this. Yeah, I just don't... I think that if they play Niv Mizzet, they're going to draw 4 cards, and we're just not going to be able to keep up with that. So I think this game is going to rely around dealing with Niv Mizzet, and our opponent having land drops while we don't is not great for us. We also might be able to color screw them. That's something that has come up occasionally against these Niv Mizzet decks. They have a lot of fixing, not a lot of lands that act as action. Okay, so they know about the Quench, but what about Tail's End? Yeah. Yeah, I feel like maybe I was supposed to play the Whirlwind Denial there. No, I think this is fine. This is fine. So we're going to get another blue source, and we're going to hope to play Jace and draw land into Quench. Alright, are they weak on something? They've got 2 black sources, 2 white sources, 2 green sources, 2 reds. Wow, my opponent with the perfect mana base. Okay, well, I'll destroy the blue source, see if they have basic planes. They may or may not. A basic island. Seen this go both ways. We'll get another island because we might have to... Oh, they do. Okay. Alright, well, our plan is to play Jace here and hopefully tick up. If they've got Counterspell, that's fine, like a Dovin's Veto or something like that. Oh, no, Jace resolves. Okay, they know about the Quench, so they know that we're going to be able to counter their Niv Mizzet if that's what they play. And that's really the card that we're most concerned about. If they play something that just kills Jace, that's fine. We got a card out of it. We just need to keep this Niv Mizzet off the table. That's how we're going to get buried. Alright, doing nothing. I like it. Start by plussing. Come on. Here we go. Plus. We can hit a land here. Yeah, there we go. Having some trouble with the what do you call it? The interface here. Castle Lothwain was probably one of the better lands we could have hit too. Alright, well, guess what, opponent? We have counter spells. I'm going to use Whirlwind Denial here. Yeah, they know about the Quench. They're playing around the Quench, but I think it's actually kind of to their detriment that they're playing around this Quench, because like they spent the last turn doing nothing with 9 mana or something, and that comes at a cost. Like, that just means that they're going to be further behind, and once we get a bunch of hard counters on our hand, we're going to be able to handle pretty much anything, really. We're drawing an extra card every turn and have a bunch of hard counters. We'll run out of hard counters eventually, but that's fine. I think our opponent's had enough. This might happen a fair amount today. Playing a blue-black control deck. Yeah. Alright, well, if this is the end of the video, or if this is the end of the match, I will cut to whenever the next match starts. So, hang tight. Alright, as suspected, our last opponent did time out. So, we're going up against Kiora next. This hand looks good. We've got 2 counter spells and 2 something that draws cards. Exactly what I want. Duress? Got 2, 3, 4. There's not really a good spot to land it, but it's probably... I mean, this does the same thing that Negate does, right? Yeah, I mean, if our opponent's playing Kiora, like... Some people build Kiora with a lot of counterspells. I don't think that's right. I think it should be built with a lot of creatures, which makes Duress a lot worse. Duress can't hit the Kiora. If they try to land Kiora here, we have Negate. If they try to land something like Questing Beast, I suppose we're supposed to Tails End it. If they play a bunch of mana creatures, then we're fine. Guardian Project, yeah, we want to negate that one. Alright, we'll just pass. We're going to Didn't Say Please here. Hopefully our opponent plays another Mana Dork, and then we can snag it with Ritualist. Yeah, Didn't Say Please. We're milling our opponent for their Uro. Yeah, it looks like they're definitely going with a creature build here, which is... I'm happy to see that. Alright, so a few options here. I could play Atris, or I can go ahead and play Ritual of Soot just to take out the Paradise Druid. That doesn't seem very good. Or I could play Drown Secrets and hold up Tails End. I think I'm just going to play Atris here. Shields down for our opponent to land a 6-drop. Yeah, that's scary, yes, but this will pressure down Kiora, and... You know, it's a sorcery draw cards. You know what? This should probably just be replaced by... yeah, I'm taking 2 cards. Hey, I chose right. This maybe should just be replaced by Thassa's Intervention, because that gets to draw 2 cards in a similar way, and it also functions as a counterspell, so... I think Atris may not be long for this world. Well, I can't attack with it. This Questing Beast is going to be tough. Okay, well, that's exactly what I need against Questing Beast. So let's just play this. I'll attack. I mean, if they want to trade Paradise Druid for Atris, I'm pretty happy with that. Alright. We've got Tails End for some sort of legendary permanent. And we've got Murder Strider for this Questing Beast. Yep. The best case scenario is they play some sort of Mana Dork and they get to play Ritual of Soot here. I think I might just make that change, switching Atris for Thassa's Intervention, because that would have been so much better. It acts as a counterspell when I need it, it acts as a draw 2 when I need it. The body on this is... I guess it does something. Oh, hello. Okay, that's pretty cool. Opponent, you have my respect. I'm down for that. So you have to draw... It's so big. Okay, so what am I going to do here? I can play Ashiok whenever he becomes blocked by a creature that creature's controller. I think I just play Ashiok with plus. I could minus... have them do that again. I don't know about plus. I don't have fear. Like, the downside to plussing there is if they remove our creatures, they can just attack Ashiok, and I basically got nothing out of it. And that's bad. That's for sure. Also, if our opponent just plays Agent of Treachery here, we're in a lot of trouble. Get to Paradise. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, works well with Kiora. This now taps for 2. Spark Double. Copying Nessie. Oh, copying Paradise Druid. Oh, wow. That works a lot better for us. Okay. This can be blocked by Labyrinth of Scophos. But what we're doing here is we're definitely playing Ritual of Soot. I would be happy to cycle this for a card. I'm just gonna plus again and threaten the ultimate. So our opponent really has to do something here. Otherwise, we're going to ultimate Ashiok and, well, right now we're not getting anything. But you know, the potential is there for getting way ahead. We've got Tails End for Kiora. I'm not too concerned about Kiora itself, although, like, I think that if we can keep the commander off the table, we would happily do so. If we get to draw a couple cards, I think we're pretty happy about that. We could draw into a removal spell for Nessian Boar. Yes, they do get to take down both of these, but fine. That's a trade I'm happy to make. Man, I'm really surprised they didn't just spark double the Nessian Boar. Like, when in doubt, remove or copy or whatever, prioritize the card that costs more. They copied something that costs 2 instead of something that costs 5. Mass manipulation. Well then. Okay. Yeah, that's bad for me. I need that Ashiok.
Shadows awaken.
Okay. Yeah, played Drowned Secrets. I think I want to tap the Field of Ruin. Make it seem like I might have some double blue counterspell. Spoiler alert, I do not. So how do I deal with this? I could draw a bounce target permanent to bounce the Ashiok. That would get it off the table. I have a few things that destroy planeswalkers, such as Murderous Rider, but I can't do that. One nice thing is that if they do ultimate, I have Tails End, but that's not actually going to accomplish anything. Okay. That attack's kind of weird on its own, because I can double block this. I guess they're trying to get the Ashiok ultimate off. That's my guess. So I get to just eat this in combat. We've still got a long ways to go. Our opponent has 37 cards in library. I think I'm going to play the Labyrinth the next turn, just so I have a ton of options as far as non-basic lands go. Yeah, just plussing makes some sense, but it doesn't make sense in the with attacking. Okay. All right. Well, let's start to mill our opponent. So mill 6. Boom. And boom. Hit a lot of gas there. Good. Protean Third Mage. So they've got some sort of enchantment sub-theme going on here or something, I guess. This is kind of scary. I think if they use this ability, I probably just have to Tails End it. Opponent has 30 cards left. You've got 38. Opponent could play the Nightmare, but that's not even that spectacular. We probably get to draw a card off of the castle here. Instock Giant, yeah. Go ahead, get your land. This Wake Root Elemental is a problem. The fact that my opponent has an Ashiok that can ultimate at any time is also a problem. So, yeah, what are we looking for here? Maybe our own Ashiok? Okay, that's interesting. Let's certainly okay with them having lots of mana. I mean, hell, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they get 4 mana out of this. They can really awaken the roots. Yeah, that might be tough to deal with. Hopefully I draw into a removal spell for this.
All your fears are given form.
Still not attacking with the Nessian Boar. Alright, Narset does stuff. And it also is a blue spell, so it mills. Oh yeah, Shifting Ceratops. Don't want to see that one. Okay, what do we have? Ooh, Eat to Extinction. Right. I mean, I need to extinction this Ashiok. Or I could hit this Wake Root Elemental, which might be scarier for me right now. Let's see. Their play is just going to be something boring like Kiora or Beanstalk Giant or activate a bunch of things with Wake Root. You know what? The Wake Root Elemental is just going to kill me. It actually provides 5 mana. Okay, I think I have to kill that, which I'm not thrilled about. Because my opponent still has an Ashiok on Infinite. Thought Erasure, Graveyard. I could Tails End the Nessian Boar. That seems terrible. I think they're just probably going to ult the Ashiok, in which case I want to Tails End that. Well, I don't know. I could Tails End the Nessian Boar in order to keep Narset alive. But if they exile more useful things, I do have to... Okay, let's go untap this. And then they're going to play a Beanstalk Giant. Okay, I'm just going to Tails End this. Yeah, mill you 2 more. There goes their Finale. That Finale would have done a lot of damage. They have 24 cards. Okay, so we can maybe start thinking about getting them. I think that if they... That's a pretty good one. I think that if they attack, I get to draw 4 cards. That's a pretty significant number. Should definitely remember to keep a card in hand for Ashiok's minus. Yeah, so like, they can attack with everything. They're just attacking with those? Okay. That's pretty good. Take that one down. I can, but I think I just want to block this like that. 30 cards. No, this one's down to 22. Weird game we've got here. Right, they can just do that. Jace, Brazen Borrower. You know, that's not the worst thing in the world. They probably play Jace. That protects them from... Oh, you know what? That protects them from milling out. Brazen Borrower on... I don't know, the token. And Elspeth's Nightmare killing something. Yeah, I think that that one... Remember when I said we took out the mass manipulation effects? Yeah, that might have not been the best idea I've ever had. That seemed to get us real good here. They don't have a way of permanently answering Narset right now, so hopefully we get to draw 2 cards on this next turn. Counterspells, my deck has a lot of counterspells that aren't particularly useful right now, though. And I think I've used both, because like between Murderous Rider and, or is it E2 Extinction, I think those are my answers for Ashiok. I think without those, I don't really have a good way of answering Ashiok. And yeah, Jace is one of the other Planeswalkers in my deck. I guess I have... Okay, so we're definitely playing Jace. Glad we figured that one out. Elspeth's Nightmare makes sense. Tyrant Scorn, yeah, just gonna kill 2 things. Brazen Borrower actually seems pretty good because then they get to play it and draw a card off of Beast Whisperer. Destroying this. Nightmare, probably destroying this.
My masterpiece.
Jace, probably milling me. Yeah, I'm losing two of my own planeswalkers here. Oh, they're targeting themselves. That's risky.
I have just the trick for this.
Alright, well. I'm gonna have to sneak across some way of getting rid of Jace before my opponent mills out. Our opponent's gonna have not a ton of cards in library. I don't know how this is gonna work. No, like, I really don't know how this is gonna work. How much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This costs 5, this costs 4, so I can't do both. Alright, well, I'll just pass. I've got nothing. Okay, so I have to figure out a way of getting Jace off the board, then milling them with, like, Ashiok, and then passing the turn. That's my path to victory. I don't know, I think I had to counter the Kiora, but maybe not. Maybe I need to save the tails end for Ashiok, because that was way worse. I think I just overlooked it. For some reason, I thought they couldn't Ashiok that turn, which turns out they could. And they really could. As it turns out. Okay, I don't care about Narset. Like, they can draw additional cards, that's fine. That was what, a disdainful stroke? Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, so what's gonna go on here? I can actually labyrinth this. Well, okay, let's throw the block first. I have to block this with both. I can block with all three if I want to, but I think this Nessian board is going to help me more than it helps my opponent here. Draw a card, draw a card. Not particularly useful. Alright, well, I can either protect Narset or I can protect these two, and I think I want to protect these two. So I'm going to remove the Nessian board from combat. Still got the Thought Collapse up for whatever that's worth. Probably not a whole ton here, especially since my opponent gets to draw cards just by playing stuff. So I need to figure out how to take Jace off the board. Oh, you know what? That might be enough. If I can find a removal spell for this... Oh, I'm short... No. Hold on. Oh, this is a wild one. You know what? It might be possible. Our opponent only has 8 cards left. Thought Collapse plus Ashiok is going to get rid of the rest of the cards. They might not have a basic for this, which... Oh, wait. They can't even search because of Ashiok. That's funny. Okay, so they're going to try to play something, probably. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to counter this because I need to win on this turn. So, what's going to happen? Alright, so we need a removal spell to get rid of this Beast Whisperer, attack with these two plus the Mobilized District on... Oh shoot, they've got Kiara too. And they're going to draw a bunch of cards. Alright, this is becoming harder and harder. So, somehow I need to clear the way for these to get the Jace off the table. That attack is not happening. Oh, man. 3 lands in hand. If I had some way of clearing this Jace off the table, I'd win. Okay, well, let's draw a card with Castle Loftlane. Is there any other way for us to draw cards? I don't think so. So, let's just do this and pray. Mystical Dispute. Man, I really wish I could see what is in the rest of my... You know what? I can, Oh, you know what? I know the location of this Murderous Rider. What if I was able to... Oh! Oh, no! I had a shot. Okay, I mean, obviously, it's, like, pretty unlikely that was going to happen. What I should have done is I should have Ashiok'd myself. Here we go. Yeah, that wasn't going to work. But what I could have done is I'd have 20 cards left, and then I could, Field of Ruin something? So our opponent can't search, but we can, and we get to shuffle our deck. Then I should have activated Castle Locthwain to try to hit that Murderous Rider. Alright, good game. Alright, maybe I should have held that Tail's End for the inevitable Ashiok ultimate there. Alright, let's go on to the next one. Alright, the Ashiok Mirror. Here we go. Well, we've got a counterspell, we've got a couple lands, and we've got a really useless Ritual Upset. I'll keep. Alright. Well, I mean, yes, it's not quite a mirror, but we do have Ashiok on 3, which I think we're probably just jamming here. It's going to be mill against mill. I think our opponent might have the edge, like, if our opponent... Well, it depends on how dedicated to the mill they are. How much are they willing to commit to this straight-up mill your opponent game plan? Alright, so do I jam? No, there's no way I jam this Ashiok, right? That is silliness beyond reason. I hope they top and play Ashiok so that I can Thought Collapse them. And then mill the card that they scried to the top. Dang it. Okay, alright, let's duress. See what we're working with here. This Tyrant Scorn is going to be pretty bad. Alright, we got Quench. We got the... Oh, geez, we have big Ashiok. Alright, so Quench I can figure out how to play around, I think. This Ashiok, that's got to be terrible in this matchup, right? Negate is Quench plus. Let's play this one. Because we can threaten to attack down Ashiok. Kind of. Well, if I play this, they have to quench it. They're going to play a land, and they're going to quench our Thought Collapse. And they're going to play Ashiok, then we'll play our Ashiok, which is going to pressure down theirs. Okay, I think I like this play. Vantress Gargoyle. That's interesting. I guess it mills. Bond of Insight. That's not what I was expecting. Alright, well, this is a spot for us to land our commander, who is very threatening in this situation. I guess they get to play this Ashiok. How much do I care? How big is the care cup? Pretty empty, honestly. Like, this is going to put an immense amount of pressure on our opponent. Yeah. That's never attacking, right? Oh wait, 7 or more cards? We definitely have 7 cards in a graveyard. For some reason I thought it was like 20 cards. Alright, but this is fine. This is fine. I'm gonna pass the turn. We're going to go Tyrant Scorn and Thought Collapse to protect it. That's not enough, is it? No, it's definitely not. Whatever. That's fine. As long as we're having fights on our opponent's turn, I think we're pretty happy. So we're going to Tyrant Scorn this. It's going to get countered. We're going to counter back. That's going to get countered. Destroy target creature. Ashiok's going to still stick around. Yep, counter me. Yep. Alright. Thought Collapse the negate. Punch me. Go ahead. That's fine. Nice. Ashiok's going to drop down to 2. That's fine. Oh, that unsummon's kind of neat. Could also use this ritual. Oh, and have double black. I could just use this unsummon, honestly, just to set them back a turn. But then they get to block a bit. But on the other hand, like, there are not very many targets for unsummon in a matchup like this.
The shadows awaken.
I do not like Ashiok's voice. Alright, so we're attacking from 2 angles here. We've got the damage victory. They're at 21. We've got 6 power on the board, and they have 37 cards in their library, and we're milling them for 6 a turn. Alright, we're just going to eat this at the end of their turn. They have another counterspell. That's okay. Didn't say please. I did not say please. That is true. Drowned Secrets, huh? Okay, so I can bounce this and then just replay Ashiok and then keep this up. The problem is if we get hit by something like Ritual of Soot. But I think it's really just my best play here. Keep the pressure up. Submit 1. Command. Go ahead, exile. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if we got rid of our opponent's Ritual of Soot or what, but it looks like we had enough pressure. Awesome. Alright, next one. Let's go. Alright, we're playing a blue deck. We have an Arcane Signet. That's pretty much the best thing that you could ever get. So I'm going to keep this. Blue decks with Arcane... Like, Arcane Signet is fine, except in blue decks, where it's just totally busted. Like white decks, red decks, it's fine. Green decks have other ways of ramping. Black decks, that's fine. Blue decks, oh man, this card is so ridiculous. So yeah, I think I'm contractually obligated to keep every hand that has an Arcane Signet out of the blue deck. Alright. Croxa, huh? So they're going to be making us discard our hand. That's more... that's like pretty good against counter magic. But that's more reason for us to empty our hand as fast as possible with Arcane Signet, which is nonsense. Alright, so if they play a creature... Well, no, we're probably just playing Ashiok. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to get rid of this counter magic. I think that the situation's not that useful. I'm just going to do this. What I find against decks that want you to discard, I guess I should have played the island so I could keep up Swamp, but like there are very few instants that are single black mana, or yeah, in this part. Anyway, so against decks that are trying to make you discard, fine.
A mind is a terrific thing to waste.
You just want to make sure you hit your lands early, and then like get down to 0 cards, but then just hope that your top decks are live enough to win. So like, yeah, Thought Erasure is the last spell in my hand, but when they minus Davriel, that's what I'm going to be discarding.
Let's tidy up in there.
Ah, they have the Devil for the Planeswalker. Alright, pretty good. Taking some damage from Davriel, that's okay. Down with that. They can either protect Davriel or threaten down Ashiok. Yeah, I'll just do this. We're going to... Well, I guess I can protect Ashiok, but it's just not worth it. Like, the chance to negate something is so much better than keeping Ashiok to mill 4 more on this next turn. This would be a pretty reasonable time to play Croxa. That's fine. So our opponent does have, like, we have 6 lands, so that's pretty good, but our opponent does have, you know, pretty full grip. If they've got good ways of answering Ashiok, we could be in trouble. If we draw a land, we get to play Ashiok. If we don't draw a land, we get to play... Oh. Of course, unless we draw a tap land. That's the worst case scenario. So we're going to be labyrinthing this Burglar Rat to prevent 1 damage here. Excellent. This is in the graveyard. Sacrifice a creature? Sure. That's an interesting one. Farika's Liberation. Oh. Got him. Alright, so we're going to be able to play Ashiok again, plus, and, yeah, just keep trying to play the Planeswalker to see if they run out of answers for Planeswalkers, because they don't really have board presence right now. And even if they do get rid of the Ashiok, we can potentially draw another land and then play Ashiok again. That was a drill bit. Bone Crusher Giant? I mean, that's fine. Playcrafter. Ooh, making me sacrifice a Planeswalker. Nasty. Alright, command zone we go. Alright, opponent. You have my respect. Yeah, I'll respond to that by destroying that. Otherwise, I would lose out on casting Murderous Rider, which I do not want to do. Exile 5 all... How many... Feels like they didn't have that many cards in their graveyard. They're just using the duress to get rid of a card from their hand? Okay. Another instant speed removal spell isn't bad here. Thought Distortion, unless that happens. Alright. Let's just attack. Still can't play Ashiok, still need one more land. That's part of why I run so high on lands in like all my decks. We can unsummon the Kroxa? I guess. Look. If I could have played the card, I definitely would have. Oh, you know what? You know what's even better than that? I can unsummon this Murderous Rider. It means we don't get to attack next turn, but it also means we get to kill it, which I think is better than bouncing it. Alright, well, let's play 2 cards. Beef of Sandy's a nice one. That's a way to get some card advantage if they don't have a way of answering it. They are kind of stuck on mana. This went to the graveyard. Okay. We've got... I mean, this isn't insane, but, like, it does gain life. It does a pretty good job of stabilizing us. Thief of Sandy, they definitely have to get rid of. Okay, that's exiled. It's definitely exiled. They can't play this yet. They can play the Bone Crusher Giant. Ooh, Wrinkle. Alright. Probably draw and discard, right? Or discard and draw isn't good. Just draw a card? Alright, I'm okay drawing a card. Elspeth's Nightmare is kind of awkward, though, I must say. Alright, let's play Ashiok. What are we doing with Ashiok? That's a good question.
Come.
If I minusing is so bad. We'll just plus.
The shadows awaken.
This Elspeth's Nightmare, would love to have some use for it, but unfortunately, it's not going to be the case. See if they have 3 damage to a Planeswalker or something. We are getting to the point where it's going to be really difficult to... okay, there we go. We are getting to the point where it's going to be difficult to cast Ashiok. We need 2 more lands. Got 5 cards in the graveyard. I've got a Mobilized District I can fire up. Alright, here we go. Maybe exposing the land when I could use 2 more lands is not the best. That's pretty good, I gotta say. I could have made them discard it, but I think that, well, you want to use it to kill Kroxa at some point. Alright. Pretty good. Is that better than just letting it be? I didn't want to take 4, but I guess I could have prevented that with that Labyrinth anyway. Yeah, that was probably just not worth it. Because now they're just going to play the Ox again and draw another 3 cards. Or they're going to do that on the next turn. Shouldn't they just played the Ox? Maybe they miscounted their mana? Maybe they're just going to play Bone Crusher Giant? Maybe they're just going to play Kroxa. Oh, there's land number 11. Here comes Ashiok again. 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. This goes down to 2.
Welcome to my...
Alright, so if they're smart, they're going to put Kroxa in hand, not the command zone to begin with. Ah, yes, they do know about it. So now they exile Kroxa and it goes to the command zone anyway.
Your heroics are but a dream to me.
This is pretty expensive. I think they just play the Ox here and I'm in a lot of trouble. Or they're just going to double ping Ashiok. That's the thing too. Alright, command zone, here you go. I think it's pretty unlikely that I'll be able to cast Ashiok one more time. Alright, come on, let's go. Mobilize District! Surveil 2 is nice at this stage of the game. We're gonna have to figure out an alternative way of beating our opponent. They only have 13 cards left in their library. So, it's not the craziest thing. And these 2 cards are not good. I guess if they play their Ox, they're actually getting close to milling out. Like, I've got the Labyrinth. Alright. Comes the target of a spell specific. That's pretty good, especially with all this mana. Alright. Let's Price of Fame this Ox. They have to exile a card, right? It's not a May? Okay, out of here! Get out of here, lands! Get out of here! Jace? 9? Yeah, I mean, I get to draw a card. I'm not playing it, right?
I'm up for the challenge. Let's try this.
5. Yeah, I guess I just play the swap. I mean, my life total is pretty low, but if I can survive a turn, which I feel like I should be able to do. I should be able to survive 1 turn. Maybe not. I have to use the Labyrinth, and they can just pump Knight a bunch of times. Look. I have other ways of milling for, okay? I've got... something. Definitely got ways of milling for, right? I'm pretty sure I've got ways of milling for. Alright, so they're gonna fire up the Knight. Yeah, alright, so we just have to... We can just let them do this. And then once they pump the Knight, that's when I'm down to 5. This is just a bunch of nothing. Am I dead? I'm down to 2. But they can't play it again. Unless they've got Shock in their hand. Alright, here we go. So Thought Collapse doesn't work. I think we're pretty much just on Enter the God Eternals or whatever that card's called. Alright, let's go. My turn. Don't think it's good enough. Oh, you know what? In response, I mean, they didn't stop before their draw step, which they probably should have in case I actually did mill them. But they can just do this twice. This is upkeep, so I don't get to see the card. Oh, but I want to see the card.
Is it just me, or is it getting a little warm in here?
All right, that was a good game. That was well fought. I enjoyed that. Yeah, I had like a 1 in 30 chance of drawing the 1 card that I knew. All right, let's go on to. I think we only have time for 1 more game today, so let's go to it. More sweet games. All right, here we go. Nissa, Waker of Worlds. That's not actually what she's called. Who shakes the world? All right, this looks like a great hand. I'll keep. I think my life total is going to matter, so I'm going to play this Water Grave. Oh, interesting. Okay. This could come back to bite me. I mean, if they play a bird here, a goose, that would be pretty bad. Let's thought erasure. What you got? Really? What are they planning on doing with that one? Draw a card. Okay, I don't really know what's going on here. We're going to activate this a bunch of times. I think that's what's going to happen here. Alright, I'm going to take the Paradise Druid. Negate. I need lands. Yeah, Negate's great, but I'm going to need to cast stuff this game. Yeah, not a bad one. It does mean my shields are down, but they only have 3 mana this turn. Puck Collector. Sure. Well, good opportunity to play Nightmare. It has hexproof. I guess I should read the card. Like, read the full card. Test and training. Alright. Well, this is a rude awakening. Alright, so we're definitely getting at least that Wilderness Reclamation here. Voracious Hydra and Nyxbloom Ancient, huh? I think this is fine. Just play Ashiok. Ashiok down plus. So, if they play something big like Voracious Hydra, what do? We just probably eat the 3 and keep on plussing. This is only for 2 anyway. They're going to make it 4 or 5. Doesn't even buff the Puck Collector. Alright, deal. Yeah, get rid of that graveyard. Plus... eat? If I eat, I don't have Mystical Dispute. I'm just gonna pass here. I'm gonna block here. Unsummon here. I think I like that. Mystical Dispute this Nissa. What do we get? Wilderness Reclamation, Paradise Druid. Wilderness Reclamation out of a blue deck is pretty good. Ooh. But what if we do this? We'll double block. And we'll get to mill for exile mill for so we get some cool stuff. And I'm gonna unsummon. Alright. I was threatening the ultimate. I mean, I would have been able to get the Beast Whisperer plus Nylea. That at least was going to draw a card, and I think they probably had another creature, so I probably was going to get a second creature and another draw card. I was going to do it, even though it might not have been the correct play to ultimate there. I probably could have waited a turn, just plussed and bought another turn. Alright, we do have time for one more, so let's play one more game here. I'm going first, but this hand only has 2 lands in it, and you guys know how much I want to hit my land drops. I am desperate to hit my land drops. Okay, this hand, not spectacular, but it does have 2 things that we can play, and I don't want to, lose a card and get stuck with a 6-card 2-land hand or something. Alright. Elspeth's Nightmare can take out a lot of stuff out of the Cura deck. Like, we played a Cura deck to begin this. Is this the same opponent that we started off against? It's possible. Value play of Elspeth's Nightmare. They can just land Kiora here, which is unfortunate. We'll play Ashiok and Mobilize District, and maybe we can land the second Ashiok if we draw a blue source. Alright, that's fine. Too bad we couldn't block that with this Ashiok, but only so much we can do. Tails End. Okay. I could have just drawn a card with Castle Lochlane, and that might be good. I don't know, but like, that's a lot of damage, and that's a turn that I'm not doing anything. I think the chance that I naturally draw a blue source is worth risking that. So they're gonna play Cav of Thorns here, which is pretty good. They... Oh wait, 4 mana, never mind, not 5. Oh, they could have played the Cav of Thorns, but they played... they played into my Ashiok. Okay, I see. I think I have to do this and hope to hit a blue source. Like, if it's a tapped blue source, I think I have to be okay with it. Nope, no. This is gonna be rough. They get to attack down Ashiok, they get to play... I mean, with this deck, you usually just want to play Lotus Field and then play Cura untapping the Lotus Field, right?
Help myself.
My god. Kiyora's really, really bad puns. So we're gonna untap something and possibly play something else. Tick up the Blast Zone. Man, all of the cards in our hand are blue. Even one blue source is not going to help us that much. Alright, so what do we have here? Nothing, right? Yeah, I think they have them play the Lotus Field or something, and then I kill the Kiora. Like, I'm trying to figure out the best time to kill Kiora. They get the mana here anyway.
I love to make a splash.
What? Kiora isn't even what's really going to kill me here. I have to kill the Cavalier of Thorns. Or I could have killed the Thunder Snapper, which probably would have been better. Oh, I screwed up. I should have killed the Cavalier of Thorns right there. I made a mistake on that. Well, I might as well just kill the Thunder Snapper. Right. If I don't draw a blue source on this next turn, I'm probably just going to concede. This. Because we're not in this game. You know, play it like 2 or 3 more turns, but... Okay, well there's a blue source. Play Ashiok and bounce the Cavalier of Thorns. One thing about Cavalier of Thorns in this deck is that, or Cavalier of Thorns when I'm playing this Ashiok deck, is that, yeah, bouncing it, they get some value off of it, but they also get to my ultimate, they get closer to my ultimate goal of milling them. I've played a bunch of blue-green decks, and sometimes you just don't have enough cards to kill your opponent. Of course, all of our cards are blue, so casting 1 card a turn is not fantastic here. They're probably going to be able to play 2 things. They are down to 23 cards in deck. They've got 6 mana here. Okay.
Let's get moving.
Questing Bee is taking down Ashiok. Okay, that's huge. Yeah, I don't think I can come back from this. I can play Murderous Rider. That doesn't even block the Questing Beast. I don't have an answer for the Questing Beast. I've got all this counter magic, which isn't going to do anything. There's a tap blue source. Alright. I'm going to pack it in here. Alright, that's going to do it for me today. That's kind of an unsatisfactory way to end the video, I know, but hey, we had some really good games in there, including some games we won, some games we lost, which were all really good games. I mentioned that I was going to make a change by switching out Atrix for Thassa's Intervention. What's going on? This, there we go. And I think that is a change. I'm going to reflect that in the deck list in the in the description of this video. Of course, all Brawl Project deck lists are in the description of the videos, and I frequently tweet these out on my Twitter, twitter.com/sunnyvale. Anyway, this is day 3 of the 7 days in a row where I'm planning on recording a Brawl video. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you do, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, it'll help me out. And follow me on Twitter so you can stay up to date. Enjoy your Brawl adventures as long as we have the Brawlers Guild Hall for free and we don't have to pay for it. So take advantage of it while you can. Alright, thanks for watching. I will see you later.